I was always fascinated by the story of James Bulger, not just where he came from, how he lived, all that, but being able to evade authorities for a good 16, 17 years. Few have done that. And so I was always fascinated with the story. Finding Jimmy Bulger, that was one of the great challenges. He's a pretty mysterious fella, you know. There's not a lot of, there's footage of him, FBI footage of him back in the day. Obviously the great footage that everyone's seen when he got busted in Santa Monica. There's not a lot of recordings of his voice that I was able to get hold of. So what I did was I called his attorney, Jay Carney, and, I said, my name's such and such, and I'm gonna play Jimmy Bulger. I would love to have the opportunity to meet with him. And he said, well, I'll talk to him, and I'll get back to you. So he got back to me a week or so later, and he said, listen, Jimmy said he has to decline and not meet with you because of his feelings for the book. So I understood, respected that. But Jay Carney was very, very helpful. Also, getting to know the character through friends, former employees, or people he worked with back in those early years. And it was important, very important, as it always is when you're playing a real person, to be as respectful as you can in the approach, to be able to literally grab hold of this character and hang on, You have to approach it with a respect, no matter where the characters come from. No matter what he has allegedly been involved with or done, it's their life, so they deserve as close to an honest version of themselves as humanly possible. So that's where prosthetics came into play.
Well, Johnny is an actor who's not afraid to wear makeup, as we know. Johnny will fully embrace the physical aspects of a character. Between Johnny and Joel Harlow, his expert makeup artist, they nailed Whitey perfectly. Through archival footage, through FBI footage, through imagery, photographs, they were able to really develop a very complex algorithm to get all of Whitey's facial features exactly right.
In developing the look, it was clear from the beginning that he wanted to look as much like Whitey as possible, which is, a pretty big departure from the way Johnny looks normally.
We went through I don't know how many different prosthetic pieces, just trying to find the right ones to locate the emotion that the look would give you. And so we finally settled on one, and it was just a matter of, incorporating all that into Bulger.
When you're covering somebody's forehead, you want that expression underneath that they're making to translate through your prosthetics. So we went to enormous lengths to get the density of the silicone correct, so that when he raises his forehead, you get those same wrinkles on the prosthetic. When he squints, you get those same wrinkles. When he furrows his brow, you get those same wrinkles. Whitey had very blue eyes and, very piercing eyes. And Johnny decided early on that he wanted that sort of intensity in the color of his eyes. So, because it's like you do the makeup and it's still Johnny's eyes looking out from him. It looks great and everybody's happy with it, but the second you put those eyes in, it's like the whole transformation, and then he gets in the wardrobe, it's like there's Whitey, there's our Whitey.
I wasn't sure, when I stepped out of the makeup trailer, what it was gonna be like, when I was decked out as Jimmy Bulger. I wasn't sure what the reaction was gonna be. I didn't know if people were gonna hurl tomatoes at me, or knife me, or shoot me, or, I didn't know. And they were above and beyond respectful. Even, guys that knew him back then who are not particularly enthusiastic about him anymore. Even those guys were, they were staring at me like they were hypnotized because of the prosthetics.
They were filming a scene involving Whitey. It's a quick scene, and they're cutting and resetting the camera and whatnot, and there's a break, and I'm standing back near the producer's tent, and Johnny, who's made up as Whitey, is standing there talking to the actor Rory, who's playing Stevie Fleming. I guess Rory must have told him that I was on the set, because I can see Johnny looking over his shoulder my way, but then he breaks from Rory and he starts walking towards me, and I have to say it was a really creepy moment, because he had that Whitey swagger about him, the jeans, the boots, the tight shirt, and certainly the hair and the bald cap that he was wearing. And it was surreal. It was a surreal moment. When Truman Capote visited the set of In Cold Blood, he said the moment was like watching a ghost walk into the sunlight. And that's how it was for me when I saw Johnny Depp walking towards me. It was like Whitey Bulger, this ghost, walking into sunlight.
So I got a lot of great feedback out of the people of Southie. To not have had that would have been detrimental. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to play that character. I wouldn't have been able to play James Bulger in the way that I did without being there. I'm being with those people. I'm so thankful to them, and I'm so thankful to Scott Cooper for sticking to his vision and his commitment, his standing his ground. It was all important.
He's unrecognizable. I had a scene with him where his face is inches from mine, and there is no sense of another person being behind those eyes, that hair, those teeth, those scars. It's so creepy, and now it's really weird because I've never been more attracted to Johnny Depp as now when he's playing Whitey Bulger, so I don't know what that says about me.
Yesterday, after we finished shooting, he'd taken his contact lenses out and I saw Johnny's eyes. It's the first time I've actually met his eyes since I began this job. I've been acting with Whitey Bulger. Fantastic. It's fantastic.
Anytime you take on a larger-than-life character and one that is seared in a certain segment of society's brains, and that is Whitey Bulger, certainly in Boston, it's difficult to portray him in a way that makes him seem human. What Johnny and I wanted to do was to show this man in a full-bodied portrait, to show him as flawed as he is, as maniacal or ambitious as he is, but also as human as he is.
The James Bulger that I chose to portray is, in his own mind and his own heart, a man of honor. People are gonna hate me for saying this, but I do believe he was a man of honor, for the most part. That is my take on it. That's my belief.
You know me, and you know these people.
It's not just a makeup job. There's an extraordinary amount of stuff going on that's coming right through all of that. It's utterly inhabited. He doesn't play with those stereotypes of like him being emotionally cut off. This guy feels things, which I think is really important for this story and these characters, and it's well documented. So to see this incredibly potent, iconic look, and then to have something of intimacy with it, it's really helped me understand how generous Johnny's been with his characterization and allowing that brotherly love to exist.
Take care, kid.
That must have been their reality.
The interesting thing to me about what he's doing is you can't reach that level of power if you don't have a certain amount of charisma and ability to kind of manipulate and tell people things that they want to hear. And Johnny's definitely a charismatic guy that can also flip the switch, and then it's business.
Shut the fuck up.
On the other hand, he has this duality where I feel like he's a scary individual.
You said to me, this is a family secret, and you gave it up to me, boom. Just fucking like that.
It's a dangerous quality. Like, I don't know him well at all, but just in terms of the scenes that I've played with him, he has that in him, which Whitey needs, which is this scary quality. Like, you feel like he could take a swing at you.
Look at his fucking face. Hey.
The performance is so contained. And according to what you read about Jimmy from various people's accounts, there was a kind of a cobra stillness to him, that the silence was often more chilling than the anticipation of what was going to happen out of that silence. And Johnny, I think, really captured that.
So my approach to Mr. Bulger really was that he should be portrayed as a man of honor, as a man with feelings. but troubled and hurt from his past, you know. And therefore, one of two things happens with a person who's troubled from their childhood, let's say. They either become, you know, some kind of, you know, rambling psychopath, or they go like this, and they hold it in. I'm sure that he's that. I'm sure that he's a man that holds it in. But at certain times, as you can imagine, when it does come out, it comes out in incredibly rage-filled bursts, you know, of, yeah, pain, you know.
Johnny understood that Whitey Bulger was not a likable character for the most part. Human, to be sure, and Johnny found great humanity in his portrayal of Whitey. But he's a vicious man, and he's a stone-cold killer, and Johnny plays it to the hilt.
I've known you a long time. And for you to fuck me like this, fucking hurts.
Walking that tightrope between playing a very dangerous, you know, mysterious, unpredictable walking time bomb and an emotional, sensitive, caring wreck. It wasn't an easy one, and that